Greetings, friends and neighbors. Rollin here, Kona astrologer, and I guess it's my job during these holidays to tell you that something is going on here, something different. I just went up to Waikoloa a few days ago, and I found some real nenes that I could walk up to. They walked up to me. And I regained my sense of wonder about this place we live in. Lucky we live Hawaii. We really are unique, you know. Yes. That nene, I met 4 of them, very friendly. They're noble. They're not like normal geese. They're small. Captain Cook and his boys said they were the size of a Muscovy duck. Anyway, they're regal. I mean, I see lots of geese around, but you never see one that behaves like this. And Honu, my Aumakua. Wonderful. And the birds of Hawaii and the plants of Hawaii, and moreover, even the people of Hawaii. Yes, it isn't just the animals of the ocean and of the land, the wonderful, unique bird creatures. I mean, the raven is the smartest of all ravens. Whoa! Smartest of all birds. And that nene, that amazing goose, is man's best companion, you know, next to the dog. These animals and this place is wonderful. And that includes, you know, a million years for a lot of these things to evolve in isolation and perfect their beingness. And it goes for the Hawaiians, the people that lived here. They were allowed to be here peacefully, and they evolved a culture that was totally unique in the world. You got to read Captain Cook and Captain Clark and Captain King to see how unique these Hawaiians are. Mahalo, mahalo to all of you folks that got that horrid telescope off our sacred mountain. And you know, I spent about 5 or 6 years studying Konane. And when I studied on it, I found all these historical comments on the wonderful abilities of the Hawaiians. Yeah, one minister said an ali'i came to him down here in Kona and asked to read, if he would teach him to read English. You know, the Hawaiians had the highest percentage of people reading and writing of any place in the world when they just shortly after this time. Anyway, this ali'i went to the missionary and said, okay, he said, I want to read English. And he came back in a month and he had learned to read English, and he was quite good at it. He had memorized all the words and the letters and everything else. And so the missionary gave him a Bible. Son of a gun, the ali'i took the Bible home, and in 1 fortnight, I think that's 2 weeks, he came back and he had memorized the entire Bible, Old and New Testament. Wow, that's the testament to the amazing mental abilities of these Hawaiians. Like the animals and the plants, unique, totally unique in the world. I came to think that, you know, nobody could play Konani. It was too complex. It took too much RAM memory and mental power, so they retreated to playing checkers. Even then, the Queen of Great Britain, or the King, heard of the amazing abilities of Hawaiians, and he sent the world's champion drafts team. That's checkers to you. The world's champion, all the way around the world to challenge the Hawaiians. The Hawaiians beat the heck out of them at their own game. But again and again, you know, I came to believe that Hawaiians have an extra lobe in their brain that allows them this amazing memory. Yes, unique. Don't let some stupid anthropologist say, oh, well, they never evolved writing. No, they evolved something much better called remembering. So anyway, my hat's off. The environment I live in, the Hawaiians that are here, very special, very unique in the world. No place like it in the world. Yeah. And to all you Hawaiian brothers and sisters out there, read Captain Cook and Captain Clerk and Captain King, you know, who saw the cultures from all over the world, from poor-smelling Eskimos to all the South Sea cultures, recognized that Hawaiians were Polynesians and part of the great culture that covered the Pacific. But when they saw Hawaiians, they were amazed how happy they were. Yes, and how healthy. I guess that's what happens to the wonderful human animal if it's left alone to evolve. You know, wow. So, you know, Hawaiians, so much of your culture was trampled and lost. To see it through the eyes of Cook and his men who were trained to observe things. It's a wonderful experience, and you'll gain great admiration for the Hawaiians. An ali'i that took me under his wing, Moana Roy, Mr. David Roy, bless his soul. He's gone now out of this body, but he took me under his wing and just gave me aloha. Thank you. Well, I hope I have your attention. Ha ha ha. I'll never forget one thing in Cook's journal. He said, people swim like people swim like fish, he said. And what's more, he said 80-year-old ladies and 8-year-old girls jump overboard when we're still a mile out and think nothing of swimming into shore. Then he says, what's more, the water is alive with sharks, yet nobody ever seems to get bit. He says, I cannot understand it, quote, it must be due to the nimbleness of the natives. Pure observation from an outsider. Hawaiians had a real relationship with Mano. A lot to be gained from the observations of these Norsemen. You know what the word haole comes from? Short breath. You see, Cook and all his boys were people of the north, and I'm a Norwegian basically in body anyway, and we are shallow breathers, because if you breathe deep like a Hawaiian, you freeze your lungs if you're a Viking. And so us Vikings, we all have short breath, and that's what we got to be known for. Ha 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 ha. We're going to have to defend, folks. Yeah. I laughed. Chamber of Commerce people came out and said, my God, you're anti-business. They cited the stupid ferry, ha ha ha, the great rip-off of our land, Hokulea, which got stopped, and the stupid ferry got stopped, and now the great telescope got stopped. All these multi-billion-dollar projects where corporations can't just sit anymore, as nice as it is. In the most gentle, loving, beautiful place in the world. I mean, just look at what's happened already to Honolulu. So, you know, doesn't matter where you're from. If you're here and you feel like defending the most special place in the world, well, get off your duff. We got to go do some things. The paths are clear. We've got heroes in organizations to lead the way. Just need people behind it. You know, real people. That's you. Save the birds, save the animals, save the land, save the reef, save the fish, save the Hawaii. I should line up for you folks on the Big Island. Hey, we just stopped a horrible cancer-causing, polluting incinerator from going into... I want to get back to my message and what I'm here for. I'm an astrologer. And so are these guys. And you'll see them all over at Christmas time. They are wise men, and they showed them the way. And I followed in the footsteps of Moby Dick, first Honolulu astrologer. Don Jacobs, Baptist minister, turned into Moby Dick, a whale of an astrologer. Got a hold of a computer that would go back accurately. and he was searching for the chart of Jesus. So I took up his quest, and I've had great success. So I know how these guys did it now. How important it was, just a degree or so, the Jupiter and Saturn apart, and told them where and when. I try to do a little bit of that. Sometimes I'm certainly not a wise man, so instead of floods and water problems, I wound up with dengue fever and water problems. Anyway, I'm here to say this is not a normal Christmas for you at all. Uranus is stationing. The three wise men were astrologers. Furthermore, you know, that they gave Jesus three things, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. We call them portable property. Little small things you could carry and you could hide and get by the guards who were outside the city, and get Jesus and his family out of town. Portable property that they could spend anywhere. Myrrh, frankincense, gold. Yes, get out of town, whoa. Now these guys had a lot of money, and they had discovered a very important person. They jumped right in there and put their money up to save him and get him out of town and find him a safe place, which they did, rather like Kamehameha the Great. So Jesus had a nice, 0 to, 9 or 10 years old, a nice organic life. Now, here's the kicker. You think these guys just found him and went away? They already dived in to give him money and stuff, get him out of town. So as soon as he was old enough to go get a higher education, these three astrologers bankrolled his higher education. Now Jesus was within walking distance of Alexandria, where the greatest library in the Western world was, and all the astrological teachings. And you went to Alexandria, you learned the 7 or the 10 sacred sciences. There was medicine and history and religion, and astrology was a very big thing. You could use it for lots of stuff. You came out of there, you were a bona fide astrologer. Yep, you had that gold disc around your neck you could calculate charts with. So these guys bankrolled Jesus' education. And he didn't get out of there until he was like 30 years old. It took a long time to get, 7 PhDs. Besides, he was comfortable there. He's not far from home, So that's where the lost years were. And that's why when you really study Jesus, you find he did all these things. It shows he was a trained astrologer. Stooped and wrote in the dirt and did all this stuff. So astrology was there. These men were there. It was frowned on. After 2,000 years of the age of Pisces, folks. They beat the heck out of astrology and science in general. But during the holidays, remember who these men were. And put yourself in their place. You wouldn't just walk away from the guy, give him a little gold, get him out of town, and go home and forget the whole thing. Hell no. You had a lot of money. It was easy to bankroll his higher education at Alexandria. Just a day's hike away. So that's why when he came back, he could go down to the local priest and say, hey, I know more about the scriptures than you do. I know more about medicine than you do. He could spit on his thumb, stick it in your eye, and fix your bad eyeball. He was a doctor, trained astrologer, historian, all of it. Alexandria was a wonderful place. Anyway, think on it this holiday. It's a different holiday. You're wide open to all kinds of Aquarian knowledge because the planet Uranus governing this kind of consciousness is stopping on Christmas. And you're going to see things through a different lens and walk a path less trodden and things like that. Here we go. All right, let's find out what's coming up for you in the next 10 days. Get down to the personal world, On show 995. 995 weeks I've been doing this. This is the second time I've done this show because the first time didn't come out very well. I'm laboring under difficult circumstances. But the circumstances for you to do more work of an Aquarian nature and to understand brotherhood much started really on that new moon around December 11th. That new moon at 19 Sag trined Uranus. And ever since then, wonderful things have happened. The world has a consensus on global warming. We got a treaty. Oh boy. There's lots of brotherhood going on. I mean, they could have burned Chicago down over another police shooting, but they didn't. They went out there and saw that the police were all basically good guys, just a few bad ones. And it's like that with anybody, any group, especially young ones. And they gave affection to policemen, and they had a really peaceful situation that could have been bad. All due to Uranus and the feeling of brotherhood. Uranus is a very interesting character. Yeah, it's slowing down and stopping, at about 20 days on either side of the 25th, Christmas. You're going to feel it climbs up like a normal bell-shaped curve and goes down. And in the case of Uranus, it's sudden. You get these little flashes of insight. Oh, now I see it clear. Wow. So, this is the theme for you for this Christmas, is it's not, I shouldn't say not normal. Your Uranus consciousness is the normality in the world anymore, not so much the religious consciousness of belief that comes from Neptune. 2,000 years of it. Not to say it isn't beautiful with art, music, and love and all that stuff, and nice, really. But it's the age of kings, huh? And I think we've had enough of kings. Of course, the Republicans want King Trump for president. Anyway, once you get the Aquarian consciousness and you see that we're all the same, and we are, and it's usually the circumstances, whether you're rich or poor, or high-born or low-born or things, that genius pops up everywhere. It's in your chart, and it's in your karma, not in your worldly possessions or the way you dress. So once you understand that, the world's a very different place, and the people in it, truly are your not just brothers and sisters. They're you. Remember the Mayan greeting, "In la ketch," I am another you. It goes that deep. Shocking when it happens. Uranus likes to shock you. Well, anyway, the shocking, news hopefully is good news for you, and it allows you to open your eyes, see the world a little differently. And they weren't kings, and they were astrologers. The three kings, I played one of the three kings when I was like 7 in Sunday school in Oakland. They picked me to be one of the three kings in the play. Eek, how little did I know. So that's the first news, is Uranus stations, and Aquarian consciousness peaks out, and and it comes up in little batches like lightning. Second thing you should be aware of is January 5th, Mercury goes retrograde. January 8th, Jupiter goes retrograde. When Jupiter retrogrades, there tends to be a lot of rain, lightning. But Mercury retrograde, of course, will be going backwards for 3 weeks. And says if we have storm stuff, now I'm going to tell you, this Uranus station, it shows up in Hawaii charts in a nasty way. Uranus is opposing the rising sign in the astrocartography, and Pluto's on the bottom, and that says, we don't like Uranus. Uranus is bugging us. We're afraid of Uranus. Who is Uranus? Well, it's wind, it's hurricane, it's earthquake, but it's electrical, and it happens fast. Gee, your power goes out. No more cable. No, things can happen. There can be a CME or something that would mess up. And believe it or not, my computer's gone, my printer, all my electrical thing in the whole room is gone. A lot of it was due to a bad plug, and it was power supply. But I still don't have a computer up and running. And all this mayhem, it was sudden. I couldn't believe even the battery clock on the wall died, which wasn't connected to the circuitry. So anyway, it's in the connections, folks. My motherboard got fried, and they tell me that's bad connections. Now, I better get this done because I'm going to run out of time. We're going to run the moon around the edge of the planetary pattern and give you a heads up on the mood of the times. it's a generic chart now, it's not yours, okay? It's just this is the way everybody's feeling together. And on Thursday nights, on the 24th, well, you're getting up to the square, or the opposition to the sun. There's the full moon there, early Friday morning, which means very wobbly stuff for people. You're on a full moon and a Uranus station. The goodies about it is, here's a trine to Neptune. There's music and colored lights. Keep it soft, keep it loving, keep it religious and artistic and spiritual Friday morning. It's very nice. And be prepared for Friday night, because here's an opposition, a square to Uranus, an opposition to Pluto. Eek, the power went out. Make sure you got batteries, candles, the things you need when the power goes out, and you're prepared. Things are going to start happening. Now, this is the opening shot. There's going to be once a week for the next month. So just because it does, the big wind doesn't come up, blow down the poles here on Christmas Day, doesn't mean you're not in for it down the line. By and large, on Fridays and Saturdays, is you're going to feel the brunt of it. So here's interruptions. Here's control and power trips Friday night. Sure was a sweet morning. I mean, have your Christmas early. Well, that's when it happens, isn't it? Kids get up, unwrap the presents, and wonderful Friday. Play some soft music, beautiful colors. Yeah. Close it down early Friday night. Saturday, the moon's still in Cancer. There's Jupiter and Venus together. There's a lot of love here, but there's a lot of noise and a lot of aggression in the afternoon. Mars is not happy. Tell them kids to slow down and enjoy the flowers. On Sunday, the moon's in Leo. It gets better as you plan more thoroughly in the evening with the trine to Saturn. In the morning of Monday, the moon trines Uranus. Electric consciousness. Monday the 28th. Enjoy it all day. Brotherhood flows. You can get things done with this. Get physical work done early Tuesday morning. It's a nice sextile to Mars. You won't get no rest. No, around just before lunch, there's a square to Venus. Don't eat those sweets. You'll conk out. There's an opposition to Neptune. Too much color, too much art, too much music, too much booze. Jupiter, the moon hits Jupiter on Wednesday the 30th. Wonderful time. That's the time to have a big celebration and then on the 31st, there it is, more celebrating. This is a big celebrations here on Thursday the 31st. Starts in the morning, and then Friday morning on the 1st, we got a sextile to Saturn. We're cleaning it up. But look at it, here's early Saturday morning, the glitch point again. More glitchy reality, and the sun is setting it off here. So here's when the power plant failed. Here's when the wind blew everything down. Here's when you feel stuck and isolated and you're not liking the electric company, I don't know who, maybe the astrologer. I better keep my head down. You're not liking Uranus much. Homeless people should keep their head down too. People are angry on Sunday. Just before lunch, the moon goes by Mars. People are ticked off. And so this is not a time for anger, folks. This is, ask yourself what you're protecting. Get out and do some work. Get some work done. That's what it's about, physical work. Then Mars is happy. Otherwise, he get angry. So, the full moon is 1:13 a.m. Christmas morning at 3 Cancer 20. It trines Neptune. We're going to have a month of more music and more religion and art and, belief and kings. But you know what? The kings aren't going to save our world from global warming. Afraid not. Well, enough of this. Let's see, what else have I got here for you? I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And I hope that you will realize how special we are here. And when you're special, you got to take special care. Ali'is just didn't run amok, They had to take care of the little ones and the old ones. That's part of the job. When you're a little superior, and Hawaiians are as far as the races of man goes, You know, they need to take care of the rest of us a bit too. You know, you just got to ask yourself why they went to so much trouble to hide the word astrology and hide the science of astrology. Must be really scared of it. Kings are famous for killing off their astrologers, you know. When Hitler saw what Karl Ernst Kraft could do, he threw him into the death camp and took all the astrologers in Germany and sent them off to the camps. Yep, nobody tells me what to say on this show. Hey, the religions persecute astrologers too. Public access TV is for you. Use it. 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 Access TV is for you. Use it.